Hey there, beer tubers. Welcome back to Beer Analysis 101 with your host, Greg.
Right down the middle.
No, I mean me, Maxwell Starr. We're going to do something for St. Patrick's Day, which is kind of like taking a detour to Scotland because this is actually a Scottish brewery. But they brewed a St. Patrick's Day release beer using Irish Whiskey Casks. This is Innis & Gunn's Irish Whiskey Cask, Irish Whiskey Barrel Aged Stout, or aged using Irish barrels. It says right on the side of it. Stout has been matured. No.
Oh, crap. Bye, Nick.
Hi, Greg.
Nah, I'm just kidding. I got one.
I figured. I know you're not that dumb. All right. So, smooth.
Do you, though?
Well, you know what? It's a good point. But it actually does say that it's been matured using Irish whiskey casks and not in Irish whiskey casks. So, who knows with Innis & Gunn? But I digress. Anyway, let's go over to who we have with us tonight, starting Mr. Irish Beard. How you doing tonight, sir?
I'm good. I was going to try to jump into an Irish accent, but I not even attempt that right now and offend anybody who might be watching. So I'm good. How you doing, Nick?
I'm not doing too bad.
Well, that's fantastic. Thanks for having me, buddy.
Looking forward to drinking like a mad Egypt here.
Looking forward to drinking this probably super extra authentically barrel aged, cask aged, not what it should be Innis & Gunn type beer, because Innis & Gunn is weird these days.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, let's move over to the next person, which is Mr. Beard Omicron Radar.
Hola,
Mr. Radar, aka Vincent. How are you tonight, sir?
Not too bad yourself. I'm feeling very good. Meh.
Yeah.
I've flown from Ireland to come in this video to drink an Innis & Gunn beer, and that's about it. Yeah. I was on a ship called Titanic, and then I got hit by a fucking iceberg.
Nice.
Wow.
And if you got a hat that says L on it, the L means leprechaun.
Yeah.
Thank you, Radar, for reaffirming why I didn't want to try doing an Irish accent.
Was it good?
No.
It was fantastic.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure we already got dislikes. All right. Speaking of getting turning those dislikes into likes, let's go over to Lady Lee.
Yeah.
How are you doing tonight? And Sasha.
Yeah, Sasha's here.
Sasha's gonna try the beer too.
Tonight.
She awesome.
Yeah, Sasha.
Beer drinking dog.
Beer. That's the only reason why she's sitting beside me right now. So she wants the beer. She doesn't care about me or my food. It's the beer.
Well, we care. How are you doing
mostly,
tonight?
actually, it's mostly the food. I'm fantastic. This is the first time I've worked not worked at St. Patty's Day, and I don't know how long. Yeah, I can't remember the last time I didn't work St. Patty's Day. Like this is really weird.
You're here.
Did you work last year on St. Patrick's Day?
Well, I did. Oh no, I didn't. You're right. I was supposed to. I was scheduled to work. That's what I mean. Like that's the first time. Like I'm not getting ready for work or doing something. Like I found out last year, right before I was going to work, that my shift got canceled because that's when we kind of figured out the lockdown started. So you are right, but I was wearing this shirt actually.
Ooh.
Fancy.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, I'm fantastic.
I like shirts like that because I can pretend to read what's on them.
Pretend. You gotta read and stare at the same time, Greg. All right, so Ashley, I'm assuming the actual Irish person here.
Yeah, I actually am. And I'm not wearing any.
You don't have to wear green because you don't have to.
I don't have to. Yeah.
He looks like a fucking potato.
Wait, were you born? Wait, Lexicon, were you born in Ireland?
No.
Wow.
But neither were you.
Yeah,
no,
I'm not wrong.
I'm doing great. Day off today, day off tomorrow. So first beer of the week. And yep, there we go. So hope everyone else is doing great and enjoying tonight responsibly.
Sláinte.
Everything is awesome.
Right. And of course, the most Irish person here tonight. There's Greg.
Oh, I'm doing great, St. Nicholas. Want to take me to the woods?
Holy frick.
That turned into Russian.
That turned into Irish to Russian to the dude working the corner market there. Like,
take me to the woods and stroke the clover.
East Indian or something.
With a little hint of Indian in there.
I am. Hey, listen. At least I tried. Right, trying is half the battle.
You're having a little bit of curry spice in your corned beef and cabbage there tonight, are you? You fucking idiot.
You know
All
what?
right, I'm gonna
You know what?
End it.
Nick, out of the blue, in my opinion, Nick just did the best random Irish accent of the night. That was actually pretty good, buddy. That wasn't bad.
There's still a strong Irish influence in my area. I'm from New Brunswick, so there's a lot of Irish immigrants that landed in this
When
area.
you think of actually, it isn't like when you think of Newfies, like Newfie speak. That's kind of similar.
Yeah, Newfoundland is very similar, but a bit more fishermen.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Newfoundland's a bit more fishermen. So
A bit more fishermen?
Bit more fishermen, a bit less potatoes. Yeah,
exactly. Yes. Anyway, I'm going to read the history once I finish making this.
All right.
That's terrible.
All right, let's move on to.
Nick's already drinking the beer. I'm going to crack mine open now. Jesus Christ!
Not the right one.
Oh, nice. Nick's double fisting. Nick is tainting his fucking review tonight.
Right. Anyway, so let's go over to the beer history here, and I see there's a huge pile. Somebody's already asked the next week's question, but we will, of course, move on here tonight with our story on Innis & Gunn Irish Whiskey Cask, a barrel-aged stout, which, as we've looked at Guinness & Gunn on the original MBA 101 before, I won't go into too much detail other than to say that Innis & Gunn began in 2002 when Dual Gunn Sharp was asked to buy distillery conglomerate William Grant & Sons, Grant's Highland Whiskey, I think, owners of Glenfiddich, Balvenie, and Grant's brands, to come up with a beer to be used in production for Grant's Ale Cask Reserve. Sharp came up with a recipe for a more sherry-like beer that he would better complement the barrels that they were to be aged in. The beer was then aged in bourbon barrels for over a month to impart a sweet, malty ale character to the barrels, which before the barrels were then emptied and filled with whiskey to mature. Originally, the beer was discarded, but factory workers that were supposed to be discarding the beer discovered the flavor of the brew. Of course, they had to drink it. Had been completely transformed by the process. Dougal Sharp tasted the beer coming out of this and found that the barrel aging made the beer taste amazing. So Sharp would actually quit his job and founded Innis & Gunn with his brother Neil Innis Sharp in 2003 to capitalize on this brilliant discovery. The idea, it's so successful that by 2009, Innis & Gunn had become the Scottish classic it is today, well, sort of today, and the #1 British beer imported into Canada. Over the years, Innis & Gunn has taken the beer barrel aging recipe and changed it up, or basically ran with the formula, I should say, releasing many special releases such as Rum Cask, Highland Cask, Oloroso Cask, special series of Canada Day beers, and of course, tonight's beer, Irish Whiskey Cask, which has evolved over the last few years, to say. First released in 2012 at 7.4% ABV, and originally aged for 60 days on triple distilled Irish whiskey casks. It has been released annually as a seasonal release for St. Patrick's Day. There have also been two related releases, which have been 2017's Kif and Kin, which was aged on Teeling Irish whiskey barrels. It used to have like a black box, you might remember it. And 2018's Kindred Spirits, which was aged on triple distilled Tullamore Dew barrels. With Tullamore Dew is actually a Grant brand, so that makes sense. Anyway, since the release of Kindred Spirits, the subsequent 2019, 20, and 21 batches of Innis & Gunn's Irish Whiskey Cask have been coming in at 6.1% ABV. And like Kindred Spirits, the beer was aged using chopped up barrel staves and in Innis & Gunn's patented oakerator process. Well, actually, it says that the can states the beer was aged using barrels, so I'm just going by that detail. They don't actually they don't even say whose barrels they're using. They just say a famous distillery. So I'm assuming because of the Grant tie-in, it's probably Tullamore Dew still. So this is effectively still Kindred Spirits, but I have no idea because there's not enough information out there online. Anyway, so let's go to the comments. And do I have any volunteers to read this other than Greg?
Yeah, come on, Nick. I'll do a great job in Irish accent.
I figured I can pretend to kiss the duck in the StreamYard thing up here.
Okay, I'm gonna put. Do you want to read them, Redbeard?
Sure.
Yeah. Go for it.
All right. Just skip the first one because people that are in the panel are not allowed to ask the magical question. Starting with Lee Russell. St. Patty's Day is fucking lame, but Lady Lee is pretty cool. Not sucking up.
And I got splashed tonight too.
Ooh.
Eric Gilbert here saying, cheers, fools. Ashley Saxon back with cheers, Eric. Lee Russell, even the Polish are better than the Irish.
Wow.
Sure.
God.
Ashley Saxon
I don't know about
accusing
that.
Lee of being a bit lame and then saying, at least I'm not Irish. Good back and forth.
Lee hates the
And,
Irish.
Eric Gilbert, only the
Lee
English
hates
get
everything.
hair loss like that. Cheers, Sexton. That's and then apparently Nick said something that was racist, and everybody disagreed wholeheartedly that Nick could never ever be racist. And then Lee said, the story of this beer is it used to be good, and then Innis and Gunn decided to be fucking lame, and almost all the beers suffered because of it forevermore. And that's Innis and Gunn in a nutshell right there, in my opinion.
Days,
yeah, like they used to be like, I feel like when I started my channel, I was kind of like right on the cusp of before they went to this stupid new way of doing things, and they made some great beers. Like they still make maybe one or two extra special release
According to
beers.
one new post I saw on when I'm doing research for this beer, apparently they started using the oakerator process all the way back in 2010. So they've been using it for a long time. It's probably also come down to the quality of the barrels that they're getting and they're chopping up, and what's the dilution of them, the aging time. They've probably been fucking around with all that stuff to make more production.
And some of the actual special ones, I think they are still doing it properly. They're not okerating everything. I don't think, because that would just be
they're not okerating everything,
but they're okerating too fucking much.
They probably don't okerate Vanishing Point.
At this point, I feel like that might be the only one they don't, and that's very sad.
That's one of my favorite movies.
That with the car. Yeah, that was a good point. That was an old school movie.
That 1971.
Good movie. I actually agree.
One of the best chases.
Agreed. Old school muscle car fucking chase. Yeah, good
1970 Challenger 446 pack.
All right, so back to the comments. Greg saying, agreeing, saying Sad but True used to really like their shit. Eric Gilbert, Innocent Gun is Scottish. Jeez. Lee saying, I look like a terrible Scottish spy pretending to be Irish.
Whoa.
I don't know. It looks more Irish for Scottish.
I'm not even going to try it right now. If I'm in the right mindset, I can actually do a decent Scottish accent, but not there right now. Not even going to try it.
Sure, when I see like Lee excited. So this is
and then Lee, remember the first rum cask? Good Lord, that was heaven.
That was the bomb back when that.
I don't know. I probably never had that, but
I did.
Sir Vogel's. Well, I'm going to the bar to try some shit out. See you guys later. We'll see you later. And then he says 07. Sure.
07. Okay.
And then Lee says, remember even?
Wait, who's Sir Vogel's?
Person.
Yeah, it's a person. And then the old Canada Day releases were amazing.
I remember those. Those were pretty tasty too.
Yeah.
I do recall having at least one of them, I feel like, before they started just ruining everything. Again, not ruin like this. I'm not just current beer I'm having right now. Mild spoiler. It's not bad, but for being like just the things they put on the barrel aged Irish whiskey barrel stout, Irish whiskey cask, and all this, just like making it seem like there's going to be all these extra flavors from the barrel imparted into it. Not really getting a whole lot of that myself.
Let's just jump ahead of ourselves.
Anyway, all right, so let's go. I'm going to put Redbeard back up front and center so that he can tell us what's his history with this beer.
I looked it up before on the YouTube channel, and I feel like I haven't had any edition of this beer for whatever reason up until this one. I have had several Innis and Gunn beers, but yeah, there's my history. Good times.
Yay.
I just talked for like fucking 10 minutes through the goddamn comments. I want to keep talking. Just next person.
All right, Radar. What's your history with this beer?
First time I drank Innis and Gunn was at the 2016 Beer Fest in Fort Erie.
That's like one
Ontario.
of the years where they actually showed up.
That was, was it?
Well, Innis and Gunn, you actually used to go to the Albina Run Beer Fest.
Well, they were there when I was there in 2016, and they were there again in 2019, weren't they?
I don't know if they were there in 2019 or not.
I
don't think so.
So yeah, I think that was anyway. 2016. I think that was the first time I had Innis and Gunn. I had I think the regular lager, if I remember correctly, or was it a Pilsner? It was like their main one. And I've had a couple since, but I have drank this one here, the whiskey cask, a couple of weeks ago. Actually, I bought one. I'm along many other beers, and I remember it being okay, but I think I was already fairly merry by that point, so I don't remember exactly. So this will be new again. So yeah, and that's pretty much it. Haven't drank too much Innis and Gunn, not often, every once in a while. So yeah, that's it. Yeah. I haven't drinking Innis and Gunn in a long time. I'm going to drink it out of a bicycle brewery glass. No,
Nice.
that sucked.
All right, so let's go over to Lady Lee and say, what's your history with? Let's go with Innis and Gunn in general.
So we have Innis and Gunn at Lou's. So it is one of the beers that's on tap. We have the Innis and Gunn Gunpowder IPA. I do have to say, I haven't tried it yet, but it smells really good. Every time I pour it, I do enjoy the smell. The most experience I have with Innis and Gunn in general is I don't know how many times I've been just sprayed by it. Because when the tap runs out and you're trying to fill a jug and the whole thing explodes.
They're
get old
of Innis and Gunn many, many, many times.
There are systems you can put into your taps these days that prevent that blow off from happening.
Well, we don't have them, so I can't do anything about it. So I'm just gonna get sprayed.
Recommendation for your boss next time you're working.
The best is when you're driving home and then there's like a ride program and they're like, "Oh, why do you smell like booze?"
Oh yeah, like me. Any time I came back from a beer festival, and it's like, reek like beer.
So I've never tried it, but it has been all over my body.
You've probably accidentally ingested tons of it.
Probably accidentally.
Subconsciously, you know how it tastes.
Yeah, well, the gunpowder at least, but I don't know how the rest tastes.
Probably just as bad.
I haven't tried it, so I don't know.
Right. Oh wow. You tried it on your shirt.
I haven't tried it on tap. I've had gunpowder IPA out of
Start
a
sucking
can.
your shirt
Like licking my arms.
like a cat. All right.
Personal
All right.
opinion:
There's a visual.
IPAs aren't something Innis and Gunn should be
Sasha might
exporting.
start chasing you.
Just
I'm sorry, there's two people talking at the same time. I might be talented, but I'm not that talented.
Go ahead, Nick.
No, I was just gonna say that you're licking your arm. You do that, you'll have Sasha start chasing you.
And by the way, I'm using a Stella glass
Nice.
for my beer glass today. I thought that would be funny. So it fits a full beer.
Mm-hmm.
It does. The big ones.
Well, what I said was I feel like Innis and Gunn shouldn't really be sending IPAs this way. They don't age extra well. Just
It's
personal
popular.
opinion.
Yeah, they're popular, and I mean you could ship them pretty quickly these days. It's just anyway, whatever. Let's move on
wrong, but doesn't
because we're kind of
Never.
Doesn't Innis and Gunn either contract brew or brew some of their shit in like I thought didn't they do some brewing in Toronto, or am I crazy?
I forget.
I don't think so. Nothing that I've ever seen.
No idea, dude.
This is for me. Any IPA they've ever sent this way is just not even been close to like a more local kind of Ontario brewery that's going to be even if it's shipped super fast. I don't know how fast they ship it, but just this.
I'm happy Sasha looks really cute because I've been on the camera for a while.
Sasha always.
All right. So let's move on to Ashley to give his history on Innis and Gunn or this beer.
So I've never had this beer. The first time I untapped Innis and Gunn was 2016. So I can't imagine I had Innis and Gunn that much sooner than that, to be completely honest. I've purchased Innis and Gunn stuff through the years. Probably nothing willingly within the last like 2 or 3, to be completely honest. I think the last few Innis and Gunn products were probably just purchased for the purpose of this show. So thanks, Nick.
Dude, Nick making people do things against their will.
You know what? Nick has a thankless and hard job.
Yeah.
And so
I have to invite Greg on every week.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's tough stuff. We have to get stuff that Greg can at least manage the energy to go.
I feel
to go 5 minutes.
I feel like
to go to the liquor
just
store.
for doing this show and having Nick on, Greg on every week, Nick is like, there's no redemption at this point. Nick, you're going to go to hell, I think.
So
I think we all are.
So
Apparently,
Innis
it's
and
for
Gunn,
unchecked racism, according to the comments. Anyway,
it's a product I've had, not a product I seek. And there we go. I've never had this one. This is the first
What
time.
is Arnold doing right now, Greg?
He's huffing. He just came back from a walk. He's huffing and puffing.
He's so loud.
all right.
This is-
Well, speaking of
This is a quiet dog. That is a loud dog.
nice, all right.
Oreo is
so-
right next to me. You
He's
can't
actually
even
pretty
know
freaking cute. Look at that big suck.
Yeah, look at
that
this.
huge tongue.
Look at the tongue on him. It's freaking ridiculous.
it. Wait, here
There's Arnold trying to hump again. Or
I can make Oreo not be quiet.
He's
Oh, look at him!
Yeah, he becomes a
Everybody's got their
grumble.
dog out. Who let the dogs out? Apparently, we did.
Mine.
I love
Sasha's
he's got this
posing right now.
imposing growl every time you squeeze him.
I'm not squeezing him. There's no squeezing at all. It's like
He's really angry at you.
All right, so Greg, what's your history with this beer?
Oh, actually, I was going to say Chad's in this.
oh, he's baring his teeth. Let him go.
I'll get to that. Number one, Nick, I wish you wouldn't use the R word on live chat. I hear we've yelled at people for that before, so please, number one. Number two, so yes, my history with this is I believe I had it the very first time. I think it was the first time. It was the Irish Whiskey Finish, and I checked that in 2014, infamous night of 500 beers. So whenever that came out, I think that was the first time it was released. I don't know how similar it is. It's a little bit higher ABV. And then, believe it or not, I've had this one before too. I had it last year, and I completely don't remember having it. So, yeah. And I know I've had a few over the years, although I haven't untapped them, so therefore they didn't happen. But secretly, they actually did happen. And in terms of Innis and Gunn, Innis and Gunn used to be one of the first kind of when I got into the whole craft beer thing. It was one of the beers I was like, oh, this is really different. This is kind of cool. I used to love the original. I used to love their special releases. It used to be the point where every time they came out with one of those stupid box products, there was a little bottle for $5, which was a lot more money back then because beer was cheaper back then. I was like, yeah, no problem. I'll buy it. It was amazing. I sometimes buy a second bottle or a third bottle, but I don't do that anymore. I would like Mr. Fett says, I don't usually willingly buy Innis and Gunn anymore. They've really gone down the shitter generally as a brewery. Last time I had it, I still enjoyed the original. I don't think it's as good as it used to be, but it's still pretty decent, I think. Especially considering it's actually cheaper than it used to be, believe it or not. A six-pack, I think, used to be $18 in Ontario in like 2012. And now I think a six-pack is whatever the standard price is, $14 or whatever for the same thing. So that savings has to have come from somewhere. Probably from cutting some corners somewhere. But I've never seen a beer actually drop in price. So that's kind of weird. Yeah, that's my interesting history about it. Cheers.
All right. While we listen to Arnold panting, I'll go into my history with Innis and Gunn, first of all, and, of course, with the Innis and Gunn Irish Whiskey Cask. So sit down, lay back, and just take it easy.
Enjoy the ride.
Enjoy the ride. The smooth sounds of Mr. Lowe. All right. Use my radio voice here. And now, the moment you've all been waiting for, our feature presentation. All right, so my history with Innis and Gunn goes all the way back to, I think 2011 was the first time I ever tried an Innis and Gunn beer, and I started with trying their, it may even been before that, like where I bought a bottle of Innis and Gunn's Blonde to try it, but it was back when they were still producing them in the clear bottles, and it was all friggin' skunky. You know, my first experience with Innis and Gunn was shit. So the second time was when I started doing my beer review channel. I was like, well, shit, I might as well do the original Innis and Gunn just to see what it's like. And it was still when they were still in the clear bottles, but my mind was blown because it was just like, holy shit, this tastes amazing. Like compared to what I was used to. And then I tried the subsequent releases like the Highland Caster, the rum, like Lee was talking about, and even went back to the Blonde. The Blonde was kind of like, meh, I'm glad that one's kind of gone. But going back that far, I remember having I used to love trying to get all the different releases of Innis and Gunn, like all the Canada Day releases, Highland Park, and even including the original Irish Whiskey Cask from 2012. This is actually my original bottle. Like, I used to have a shelf full of beer bottles behind me when I did my beer reviews back in 2012, 2013. And I kept the bottle for it on my shelf. It's actually still sitting in here. You can see when I open the box, it's got one of the old school clear bottles inside, Irish Whiskey Cask. And this one says best before March 2013. So that's the original release back when it was still aged for 60 days on real Irish casks instead of what they do now. But yeah, that going all the way back, I used to love Innis and Gunn. And it's kind of, I still don't mind it, but it's kind of trailed off, especially when, and it, according to one thing I read tonight, is that they've been using the Oakerator process in a lot of their beers since 2010. And admittedly, something like that's generally to speed up production and to cut costs. But back then, it wasn't bad. It still tasted pretty great. But given that it's definitely not the same beer as it was, and I think it's a bit more of just maturing of the palate, and as beers changed, I think it's a little bit more of like they've ramped up production, and larger batches means that it hasn't carried the same flavor forward. But you know what? I keep going back to Irish Whiskey Casks every time they release a new one. I had the 2012 to 2013. I had it when they called it Irish Whiskey Finish in 2014 and 15. I had the Kith and Kin in 2017 and the Kindred Spirits in 2018. And I don't know if I had this in 2019, but when this came out again as Irish Whiskey Cask in the can form like this, but I know that I've had it not just this year, but I've had it previous years. I stopped doing Untapped, so I don't have a record to follow, unfortunately. But usually I'll pick this up just because I'm kind of hoping like maybe at least this one still holds up compared to other Innis and Gunn beers out there, outside of just the original. So yeah, that's my whole opinion of it. I do keep going back to this beer, and especially this year's batch is only like $4.60 a can here, which is still kind of expensive, but when you consider it's a barrel-aged stout, that's not a bad price at all. So let's go to, I'm assuming Redbeard wants to read the comments.
You're muted.
You're muted, Redbeard.
No, I'm not. You're muted.
Hey,
Listen, that was the longest history ever, Nick. My God, man.
I know. I have so much of it.
All right, so go back to where Eric Gilbert with the Polish are better labor than the Irish.
God.
Polish will work for nothing, and the Irish want booze.
Jeez.
Wow.
Polak drunk is better drunk.
Yeah.
And Vogel, T.S. Vogel, will work vodka.
Yeah, I think Sir Vogel. Vogel is the guy Vogel for my Bartender game.
Oh,
sure.
Cool.
Fancy glass for a fancy guy, and apparently that is radar. And then Obergruppenführer, Jesus in the house.
Comrade
And,
Jesus is my former
laughing
commander in Bartender.
And he likes a little pinky flick too.
Yeah, that's what I do.
always
With
had.
my beers.
And apparently Chad the Albino Rhino is in the chat. Cheers, Chad.
Hey, Chad.
It's a brewery that sells in Canada through a side company, so it gets here and then sits at a warehouse for weeks before it goes to the LCBO. I like how he first said cob. That was
Cob, corn in the cob.
Gotta get that beer to the cob. Eric had Innis and Gunn during a stay in Welland a few years back. Sash is the best dog in the chat. Sorry there. Yeah, Male Lee, not even blatantly obvious at all that you're just
Sucking up the leady Lee.
yeah, just like
Listen, he's got a girl into him. He's trying to suck up. Let him do it.
I don't mind.
Oreo's my dog. He's pretty adorable, but like as far as like adorableness in the chat, it's even though he's annoying as fuck most of the time, Arnold is the cutest goddamn dog in this chat.
Arnold's like the BA 101 mascot at this point.
I mean, I think Arnold's cute, but Arnold is also the biggest asshole. I'm gonna fully admit that.
Not just because of the size of his poops.
Chad saying, if I remember correctly from Nick, freshest in Alberta and BC, how does Nova Scotia and New Brunswick dates look? Actually, nobody we never mentioned that. What do our dates on our cans look like? Mine says best before April 22nd.
That's what I have.
Yeah, that's what I have.
Well, that's probably going to be April
22nd. Yeah.
22, right? 2022.
I guess that makes sense because it's barrel age. It should be able to be kept for a while. So yeah,
Well, the reverse is true on that. But
yeah. But it's still it's in a can. It should, as long as you don't store it like an idiot. It should probably keep for a while. Lee Russell saying we don't get it in Nova Scotia anymore, as far as I know, except for the original. At least not in the NSLC. Haven't had it in years, but it's canned at least.
That's kind of weird because I actually get most of the ones that you would get in Ontario here in New Brunswick. I even get Vanishing Point 2 and 4. I get the gunpowder, the original, Mangoes on the Run.
It's been well established that Lee, unfortunately, is the king of beer wasteland as far as everybody here knows, kind of thing.
Dan in Alberta gets the shit we have.
And even if he didn't, like Dan sent me today, Dan has access to some fantastic beers.
I will say this: the Vanishing Point is super tasty, but it's also fucking expensive. It's $20 a bottle here.
Oh,
it's even here. It's like they think 13, 14, maybe even 15. It's overpriced everywhere. It's a small bottle of.
I'm not that bad. It's the best thing they make.
But it's not exceptional by any stretch of the imagination compared to like other stuff you can get. It's good.
Yeah, well, yeah. I suppose you're going to compare like $20 for an Innocent Gun Vanishing Point or $23 for a Epic Brewing Big Bad Baptist here in New Brunswick. I would rather do. Then compare that to paying $18 in Ontario for Double Tempest.
Yeah, there's a bunch of things you compare it to. They're way better.
Double Tempest is actually a shockingly good value for what it is.
Yeah, how much was that? Because I have 2 bottles of those.
I believe they were $18 each, if I'm not mistaken.
And they're a bomber too.
So.
Winning.
Amsterdam's one of the ones that hasn't like shrunken down their fucking. Sorry, Nick. Go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, I bought two bottles of the Amsterdam Double Tempest when it came out, and then got Greg to pick them up, and I think they were $18 a bottle.
Hey, Greg is the Toronto beer hookup boy.
That's why we keep inviting him back.
I'm a fucking mule. Is what I am.
He's a mule. He's your patsy.
You're the best, is what you are.
Best
okay,
patsy
back.
ever.
Chad says that's too bad, but to be honest, they were beginning to be something I even gave a glance to less and less through the years. I would pay $4.60 a can any day compared to my $8. But yeah, that's because fucking Chad.
Great White North there.
You can't even compare. Like we just said, Mel Lee lives in Beer Wasteland. Chad just lives in the wasteland.
Chad lives in a literal wasteland.
Comrade Jesus asking, what Maxwell is using a DSLR camera with like a.
I am using a Sony A6300 with a 28 millimeter 2.0 lens at the widest aperture, using Sony's imaging edge software to turn it into a webcam. It's literally just plugged in through USB 2.
That's the coolest thing about it. Like there's a
Elgato as a webcam input.
Elgato makes I think it's called the Cam Link thing. It's like it plugs into USB, but makes the USB into HDMI.
I don't have to use an Elgato.
That's what I'm saying.
I use one of my photography cameras, and I plug it into my computer, and there's a driver that allows it to work as a webcam.
And it works well. It's actually pretty.
It does work really well, actually. I've basically left this camera where it is for the last 8 months.
Lee Russell, face it, my dog is lame. You know what? I won't face that. I will. I will say fuck you to that straight up, asshole. Maxwell is Nick from Nova Scotia. No idea what camera he has. All dogs matter. Expensive as shit. A mule in more ways than one. That's cool. Has good audio.
I agree, Greg.
Hey, actually, Nick's camera has good autofocusing, but not the best autofocusing. It does fuck up sometimes.
There's sometimes when I'm doing giving a talk or something, all of a sudden it's just out of focus and it stays there.
Yeah, or when you're trying to focus on the thing in front of you and it just won't. And one more thing, I saw Chad saying Perba Tuba blah 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 blah. It's not a wasteland, but it would make a great post-apocalyptic video game. No, it wouldn't. Because there'd be no fucking supplies to survive on for more than fucking a couple weeks. Because it's a wasteland.
It's a wasteland compared to a fucking Fallout video game.
Yeah.
Wow.
A post-apocalyptic nuclear wasteland in normal civilized parts of the world would be
Lee
less of a
Russell
wasteland than where you are right now, man. My
Me
God.
coming out with the machete and just murdering Nick. Jesus.
And then, look what Nick's camera has to work with.
Wow.
Yeah, fuck you.
Mean.
Yeah.
Lee's been drunk yelling at cars all day.
All right. Done with comments. I must quickly make my bladder not be full. I'll be right back.
That's all that beer he's been drinking. Finally, a quiet moment.
Wasn't he the first one that's supposed to go with his
He's going to use his
personal?
wiener to squirt
Yeah,
out.
well, we can wait. Yeah, imagine he's going to need some time to recover from talking all the time to figure his tasting notes.
Well, so let Beernomicron go.
What's today in Beernomicron history? 1941.
What is it? We are in March 17th. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Today, let's see here. March 17th, the Schlexicron, Sixtonacron threw a cat all the way to the moon of Phoebe off of Saturn.
You forgot the Destroyer of Worlds part, but that's okay.
I can't. So Redbeard doesn't like it when I say, Schlexicron, Sixtonacron, Destroyer of Worlds, who came down from the heavens, and yada yada yada. You threw a cat that landed on the moon of Phoebe, and it got there in less than 2 minutes.
Amazing.
Record so far, and that's pretty much it. Lee Russell actually surfaced off of Ireland on this date and took a shit, and that's how we know. Somehow
There's magic in the air.
Somehow St. Patrick found it, and he thought it was like an image of God, and that's how we're celebrating St. Patrick's Day.
Cool.
Some of that.
So thank you to Lee's magical shit.
Yeah, they are magical, actually. If you
Magical leprechaun shits.
magical leprechaun
Definitely
shit from Lee Russell.
Yeah, his
Yes, shite green. I don't know. Did you have a good piss, Sir Redbeard?
The piss itself was good. The fact that I kept my headphones on and was able to hear everything, and didn't.
Have a good night there, Chad.
Wasn't great.
It was good having you here.
A buddy of mine.
No snow in Toronto.
Why would you shovel your stairs before the blizzard? Wait,
There
after.
was probably a blizzard this morning, and there's going to be another one tonight.
He has to keep cleaning it off before more piles up on it.
They're hourly.
Good night, Chad.
Cheers, man.
Anyway. Kerry wouldn't have to piss so much if he didn't fucking drink like a mad Egypt.
Oh my god.
By the way, rock out as you requested. I'm looking into my camera.
Didn't drink a bunch. This is
Anyway.
the first time in quite some time where I actually started drinking today kind of early. I had a few beers.
I feel
before
like
this
that's a
weekend.
response to a comment I can't see.
No.
Oh, Greg said no girls allowed.
No girls allowed. We don't like it.
Shut up, Greg. No Greg's allowed.
Yeah, the YouTube comments
All
are
right,
kind of
so
hard to see who's replying to.
I
that
am
sometimes.
going to assume we're ready for Redbeard. Oh, look, he's
Yes.
already up there. Let you read your beer, your final thoughts on this.
That was a good way to say it, Nick. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I can do that. It's very tolerable. It's not bad.
You hear the dog at the back.
It's very unimpressive for a barrel-aged stout, as they call it. Style-wise, I'm going to give that. Let's be generous and go 6. Personal enjoyment, I don't mind it. It's okay. I'll give that a 7 for personal enjoyment. I just like I'm like aside from Lady Lee, who really hasn't had that many beers up to this point. Like everybody here, I'm sure has had so many better examples of not even just this is pretending to be barrel aged. I don't even get any kind of maybe like the slightest barrel memory kind of thing going on in the taste. Like
Barrel memory.
barrel memory. That's what I'm saying. Like,
I like that.
it's so faint that it's a memory, and it's comparable to just a well-made basic stout, and even then I've had better basic stouts than this barrel aged thing. So it's Innis and Gunn has lost whatever magic they used to have. Really, again, that their one series they do every year, that Vanishing Point thing, is pretty good. But like we just talked about before, it's still not. They're not excelling at anything like they kind of used to, and it's they used to be the barrel aging brewery kind of thing. And just now they're the chopped up chips of barrel aging brewery, and it's not the same at all. It's kind of sad. And that's what I say.
Did you give your score?
Oh, at the beginning of what I was saying, yeah.
Oh.
You did.
6 and 7.
You hated it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Didn't hate it.
All right, so who's next up? We got Radar. Radar, what's your final thoughts?
I don't mind it, and that's as high as I will go. I've usually whiskey cask is not my forte, but the more I go into other beers, like in the last year, it's starting to grow on me. And this is actually I think it would be a good starter for someone trying to get into this kind of beer, and then you go on to the more better ones. And that's all I have to say about it, because I haven't had Innis and Gunn when they were, like you guys say, when they were good. So I can't really compare it, really. I find it okay. That's pretty much it. It's just okay, you know. But it's not horrible. I'm giving it a good high mark because the taste for me is still pretty good. So I'm still giving it. Yeah. Do I give it a score now or do it later?
Yeah. Style.
Style.
Christ's sakes, dude.
Jesus.
I'm listening to the other guys on TeamSpeak. That's right.
It's so good.
You should be listening to yourself.
Jesus, Radar. Okay, back to us.
Thank you so much.
So I'm gonna give it a good 6.5 out of 10 for style.
Yep.
And I'm gonna give out 6.28 because I remember last week's video. 6.28 because remember last week on the video Nick said, at least we don't have Radar here for saying, it's not like a bunch of decibels 667.
You didn't say that.
I'm not going to do that today. I'm doing a 6.24. Fuck off, rack out. I'm doing a 6.28 because it's pi times 2.
So 6.3.
What?
No, 6.28.
6.3. We're rounding up.
So 6.28. All right.
I don't think it's going to make much of a difference in the math. It's still the same equation. It's still pretty easy. It should.
Yeah, it's pi number. Pi.
I don't think you were here when he's given like to the like 4th or 5th decimal point. It's like that.
And you round up. I even do that when it comes to my like papers where they say don't put that many decibels, just round out. So that's my argument.
All right. So
Damn it, Lady Lee, you are too tolerant.
let's let Lady Lee make her argument here and say, what do you think? What's your opinion?
Okay, so I'm having a hard time with style because I have never had one of these before. But if I'm going off what I have heard by descriptions and what you guys have said, style-wise, I don't think this would be a good comparison to like other barrel-aged stouts. And even for like the stout, I find it kind of thin is the word, I think. Learning. So I find the style is there particularly, but I am enjoying the taste. I think Radar made the comment about like a beginner's beer for this, and I have to agree with him because this is my first one, and I'm actually enjoying it. Like it's going down smooth. I know there's it says that there's like a coffee taste, but I think it's like that more sweet coffee, the fake sweet coffee that I'm looking for. The one that real coffee drinkers don't like. No, it's more like a 60 in a coffee, like a small coffee. Like I'm one of those people. Like I don't drink coffee. I think I drink ice caps, which is basically like a teaspoon of coffee and like a cup of sugar. Like it's that kind of stuff. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. So for style, I'm gonna give it a 6, and for personal preference, I'm gonna give it a. Hold on.
Was that a dog?
I think I'm just gonna give it an 8 because I would drink this really quickly and I would drink a lot of it.
So 6 and 8.
Yeah, I know it's both extremes, but I'm actually enjoying it.
Hey,
All right.
Can you just mute yourself, buddy?
Who now?
The Radar's chat's coming through on our end.
Yeah. All right. So thank you, Lady Lee. And let's move on to Ash.
Yes. Hello.
Hello, Ash.
Oh, hey, Ashley.
It's been a
Is
while.
it me you're looking for?
It's me.
Hello.
Is it me you're looking for?
All right.
I can see it in your eyes.
Sorry, I did that.
I took a trick out of. I'm taking a trick out of Nick's playbook 2 weeks in a row, and I actually took down some notes because I'm getting old and I can't remember things. So
You a smart man.
Wow.
so
Yeah,
so
Ashley, the king of the reviews, can't remember things.
so the nose on this was very interesting because all I could really smell was just marshmallow, and that was it. There was like no malt characteristic to it. There was like no wood.
You got COVID, man?
Yes. the only thing I got off this from the nose was like confectioner sugar, like just sweet.
Maybe that's why I like it.
You know what I mean? It was, and I say marshmallow because marshmallow always has like that. It also has that vanilla-y, like lactose-y type of memory, and that's sort of just what I got off. It was just marshmallow on the nose. The sip. This is what I wrote down. I got licorice, brown sugar, molasses, a little earthy, dark chocolate on the finish. So it was like nothing that was really like exciting. Like I didn't really pick up on any coffee notes. I got a little bit of dark chocolate, but it was at the end. It was just sort of just like ho hum, nondescript, like nothing exciting. And I literally wrote down like this beer has like no soul whatsoever. It's got no character to it whatsoever. It's just, it's like, let's just mash these grains, toss these pieces of wood in, let it ride, and then, let it go. I mean, it's 6.1%. Like, even though they make it, they allude to the fact that it's barrel aged. I mean, we all know the process, obviously, but it's like you would never barrel age something that's only 6.1% anyways, because it's just going to get thinner and thinner and thinner. So the body is so lacking on this. It's got like nothing exciting on the tongue. It's actually too carbonated for the style, for something that's supposed to be like barrel aged, but it's just, chipped. So, I mean, it's a very, but yeah, the thinness to Lee's point, and the gateway to Radar's point. This is the perfect gateway barrel aged beer. People are like, oh, I've had barrel aged beers before. I had that Innis and Gunn.
Yeah.
That one day. And it's just like so, and that's fine. And
that's like saying Alexander Keith's is a good gateway IPA. Like that's
but just imagine someone drinking this, because there's nothing terribly offensive about this. Like there's no brewing faults. It's pretty clean. There's the flavors and the way they present it. It's very accessible to the masses. Okay, like there's nothing overly aggressive about it. So just imagine someone who drinks this and they're like, oh yeah, okay, I had a barrel aged beer, and they're like, okay, I'm gonna try a few other things, and they're like, oh wow, okay, this is a lot better than the Innis and Gunn one I had. But I mean, something that may be a little bit too like intimidating for someone to try. Like maybe if they have this first, it'll sort of ease them in. So I mean, for what it is, it does the trick, I guess. I would never pay for this again. And given I shouldn't be drinking too much alcohol anymore, I probably wouldn't even drink this again if it was offered for free. But for the style, I'll give it a 6 out of 10 because to previous points that were made, it sort of gets people into the style. But for personal preference, I'll just give it a 5. There was no brewing faults, but it's just got no personality to it. Like nothing exciting, and I wouldn't have it again. So 5.
Did the older ones have better? Like, were they better back then? Ish.
I have no idea.
Yeah, the old guns.
I didn't really drink any of the older Innis and Gunn, like bigger beers. Like the first Innis and Gunn I had was like their lager or their regular.
Well,
ale.
I remember liking the one at the beer fest in 2016, which I can't remember which one it was. I think it was their regular lager.
The lager was out by that point, but so was the original.
Either way, I have to go empty my bowel. So
I don't think it was.
Or my bladder. Sorry, not my bowel. Bladder. I'll be right back.
Thanks for sharing.
Holy shit! There's a surfboard back there.
Just one of his bowels.
Yeah.
One
All
bowel.
right. So who we got left? We got speaking of bowels, we got
Bowel.
Greg here.
Speaking of bowel,
Bowski.
Greg Bowell.
I'm going to try to do this with Arnold not being an asshole, so I'm going to hold him down. So I thought this might be the worst beer I was going to have tonight, but then I had a Cobblestone Stout by Mill Street, and holy fuck, this tastes like spoiled milk. And I've got another can of it, so
nice.
Actually, I will never be buying another Mill Street product again after this. Fuck you, Mill Street. You got $6.
Mix the tiniest bit of it with Arnold's food, and kind of give him wet food, and do that over the next couple of days. You can use that can of beer like that. To be honest, like that tiny bit of beer, like a couple teaspoons, in with his food, probably wouldn't really, get him drunk or anything like that. Wouldn't do anything bad. And it would just kind of give his food a nice flavor, and it would get.
I wouldn't mind getting him drunk right now because he's being an asshole. So, anyways,
don't people watching, don't get your drugs. Your drugs. Don't get your drugs. Your dogs.
Not even once.
Your dogs high or dry or dry. Well,
anyways,
high or drunk. I can't talk.
What? Okay, sure.
Anyways, Innis & Gunn Irish Whiskey Cask. It's basically like I don't know, it's like some weird chocolate liquorish beer that tastes like those chocolates that someone would give you for Christmas and then you give them away to someone because you don't want them.
To me. I like them.
I'll give them to you. Right. I mean, in terms of a barrel-aged stout, it's not even fair to really compare it to that, except that they write several times that this is a barrel stout, a barrel-aged stout. So as that kind of thing, it's a 3 out of 10 because it's barely recognizable as that, even as a beginner one. Like it's probably comparable to almost like it's almost comparable to Alexander Keith's IPA because it's pretty much not the style they claim it is. But I guess sure as a beginner, but I would think somebody might drink this and somebody may actually like this who's not used to a dark beer, and then they may try like a Double Tempest and be like, this is shit because they're not used to something that strong.
Probably me.
Maybe. We'll see. We'll have to get a bottle of Double Tempest out to you. Yeah, so it's basically as a barrel-aged stout. It's honestly, I can't find too much fault with the beer. It's not really flavors I like that much. It doesn't even have the typical Innis & Gunn flavor, which is weird because most Innis & Gunn beers taste pretty much the same with a slight hint of difference. And in the smell, I get a little bit of Innis & Gunn, but the taste, not really. It's kind of its own thing. It's not even what I remember the old Irish Whiskey Casks. And I did have had the ones like Nick mentioned, like Kill and 10 or the
Kith and Kill.
Spirits. I think I had that as well. I didn't realize those were all Irish Whiskey Casks. And they all kind of had that Innis & Gunn taste with like a hint to them. And this one's actually different, but it's good in one way, but not really because it's actually, in my opinion, worse than anything I remember from them. So before Arnold loses his shit, I'm going to give this one a generous 6 for personal preference. That's being real generous. I don't think I'd want to buy it again, but there's not really any faults with it. To me, it's just boring and not particularly what I love. So
extra uninspired.
3 and it perfectly falls under the category of meh beer.
Neckbeard. All right, and what did you say for style there, Greg?
3 and a 6.
3 and a 6. Ooh,
whoa!
3 and a 6. Gross. Ouch.
Not 3 out of 6. A 3 and a 6. All
right, so
you know what? Innis & Gunn needs to be called out for their barrel-aged bullshit.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. The sound you just made right there was...
No, I was just saying, like, okay, well, I guess I'm the only one here who doesn't really hate this thing.
Hold on a second. I don't hate it.
Yeah, no, I never. I don't hate it.
No,
I hate the bullshit
like it.
of the company. I don't hate the beer. It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, I'm not really a big fan of the operation
could
system.
be
but
so much better.
Some of it, I wonder if it's psychological or not. At the same time, it's definitely gone downhill over the last 5 years. Out of the taste of this one here, like, okay, the aroma I've got, first off, was aromas of chocolate, brown sugar, a little bit bready. Now that I actually said marshmallow, I do get the marshmallow. Flavors are, it's got a taste of dark chocolate, vanilla, a little bit of toasted oak, but not much. Some black coffee. I do get that black coffee that you're talking about, but it is more like that fake, not so much fake, but like sweet coffee kind of flavors, like the marshmallowy coffee. Raisin and dark fruits in the finish. Lingering raisin and dark fruit, and a bit of dusty cocoa in the finish. There isn't much barrel aged quality to this. There's no like strong oak tannins, like that little bit of like light. It's not so much bitterness, but that dryiness that you get from oak. There isn't a lot of that there. Is a bit on the thin side as far as the body goes. Like, yeah, well, it's not like as thick as you would expect to get from a stout. As far as like getting the whiskey character from it, I do get that there. And I say that because like Irish whiskey tends to be cleaner, a bit more subtle in compared to like Scotch. So or even bourbon, where the bourbon's like very vanilla candy sweet. But at the same time, like it's not like it's a super strong like whiskey to the barrel aged things in it. And I do remember back when Innis & Gunn's Irish Whiskey Cask came out, that this, like back in 2012 when I had it, was one of the most amazing beers that I'd ever drank. That thing was friggin' fantastic, and during its prime. It has fallen quite a long way, but I still don't hate it. Like, I still go back to it every year, drinking it, hoping maybe it's turned itself around, and it hasn't. But at the same time, it's still better than a lot of the Innis & Gunn beers that you can buy. Like, I still even think I would buy this over like an original. And I think this is my third can of it this season since it's come out. Because I don't mind this. And because, I mean, it may not be the best barrel-aged beer or even barrel-aged stout you can get. But for the price at $4.60 a can, shit, might as well.
That's actually... Sorry, that's where you are. I don't know what I paid here, but
yeah, I don't know.
$4.60 a can is too much for this beer.
Yeah, whatever. Well, I wasn't talking about your opinion right this second. We're talking about mine. Anyway, so yeah, for overall for the style, I do kind of concur. There is a little bit of like it doesn't really match the barrel aged stout style. That's for like there's a little weak in that department. So 6.5 out of style, but I don't hate it. I'm going to give it a 7 for overall enjoyment because I have that much little left of it, and it's not going to last long.
Nick and Ashley fucking throwing fucking punches as to who's like giving the more in-depth review over here this time. My God, Nick's trying to. I feel like this is all like Nick is trying to one up you, Ashley. That's what it is.
I have to. I follow up Ashley all the time. I follow up everybody all the time. I have to.
Well, yeah, you're the last one every time.
You have to follow me up today, Nick.
I have to follow Greg. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or I have to apologize for Greg and then do my beer thoughts. You know.
Just buy the best lager beer. Oh, fuck me.
Nick, it's been well over 2 years since you've yelled at me.
Fuck you, Greg.
Yeah, so that's uncalled for.
All right, so I will do the math.
And we just need that question for next week.
Somebody needs to ask.
There's been a few comments.
Yeah, read the comments.
Has to be asked by somebody who's not on the panel.
Oh, Jesus. Write in what's next week's beer. You'll hear that in about.
Manley is right. It is still the world's best lager produced by Innis & Gunn.
Redbeard, did you want to go through the comments? Or
if that's the thing that is going to be done, yeah, let's do it.
Go for it.
All right.
Read comments while I'm doing my math.
We finished off with Lee's comment with Nick's camera thing, and then apparently we were throwing some shade. And
Lots of shade.
He hates because he tolerates. And lately he feels tolerated. Lately, as far as male Lee goes, you're beyond. No, there's
It was a joke.
beyond. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. And then Chad went to bed and stuff. Blizzard thing we meant that. Then much. Oh yeah, then that was the whole no girls allowed thing, and that happened with lately thing, and then one girl allowed. We're progressive. We're Gregnit. Sorry for the Greg cocky.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
And then somebody got a 10 for 10 for their Elmo laugh.
Greg has the Elmo laugh.
Do I have an Elmo laugh?
I don't
Probably.
know. I don't know who
I
has the Elmo laugh.
think so.
I don't even think I've laughed on this entire show.
And then Dan
You don't-
showing up
you don't
saying
laugh in
12
general.
people watching. What's wrong here? Is it April 1st? And I commented like, we've been doing pretty well viewer wise the last few weeks.
We
So,
actually
like, what the
have
hell,
ever
man?
since Lately invited a girl on here.
Ever since Lady Lee invited a girl on here?
Ever since Lady Lee got here, since we invited a girl on here.
Yeah,
Oh,
you might
okay.
be shocked if we do bikini night. We'll also have a lot of viewers, especially
Hey.
in a bikini.
Yeah, I think she'll get the most likes.
Specifically, me
And
not being
Comrade Jesus completely misunderstanding what I was saying at the one point about like not giving your dogs drugs or alcohol. He will now give his dog cocaine. Thank
Sweet.
you for the advice. All right.
Awesome.
And then just buy the lager, best lager beer. Like, I'm sure there's some Ontario craft lager beers that I would probably enjoy more than the Innis and Gunn beer. But the Innis and Gunn original lager beer it's still solid to this day. I won't deny that, but it's not. At this point, I don't do anything out of my way to support this brewery because they are just kind of they're a macro barrel aging brewery, if that even makes sense. Like they're like the Bud
that
Light
far.
of barrel aging. Like it's
But they're
just
kind of like that any
Yeah.
kind of standard like UK brewery that you get beers that come over here. It's
like,
just
yeah, they
like-
don't have standards. They have no standards. It's like that was
They
in the
probably
fucking
do.
barrel
But
for
what
8
I'm trying
days.
to say is that they're like any other like UK like Marston's kind of brewery like
No.
nowadays that they're not making anything fantastic anymore
They sold
except
out
for
a
Vanishing
bit,
except for Vanishing Point. God,
again. Yeah, one beer a
All right.
year.
All right.
All right.
Moving on.
All right. So
Keep
yeah,
on
all right.
going.
So and then Radar said, "I'll give my dog cocaine." He said because the inside joke. Resident PL. Okay, fair enough. Stephen Gregg Snail Trail from behind was next week's beer.
Why not?
Mel Lee asked the question. It's been asked. Weathered Souls Black is Beautiful Imperial Stout. There you
Nice.
go. Next week's beer.
There you
That's
go.
not what we're gonna have next year. That'd be interesting though. Dan wishes he got this show's numbers.
It probably does actually.
He probably does. And Halcyon. Hello, Halcyon.
There you go.
Stay in drugs, don't do school. I like it.
Oh,
And
Words to
then
live by.
Radar said something that I'm not even going to.
Night Falcon. Oh, it's probably some people from his chat.
Falcon.
Yeah, I miswrote Night Falcon. Sorry.
Jesus
Okay, yeah.
Christ, Greg. All right.
And I like it when Nick goes diving and finds my starfish.
All right,
Everybody,
First of all-
everybody, straight up, put your hand up if you don't like when Nick
5.67.
finds your starfish.
Nick Falcon.
So
Anybody
first of
can do
all-
it? No one's gonna do
First
it.
of all, the
You
ratings are
didn't put your hand up.
5.67 for the style, 5.67 for style, and 6.55 for overall. And you
Interesting.
see the little joke that I put in there that I used the photo of Kindred Spirits because that's pretty much what this fucking is.
Yeah.
It's
That's
the
Yeah.
exact same fucking beer as that beer.
You know what? It's always great when you have to like blatantly point out your joke. It's always
Yeah, well,
best.
right. Anyway, so what is next week's beer? And I will full screen myself, which I will show. We're gonna do Great Lakes Brewing's RoboHop.
I can't find that
Imperial
in Ottawa.
New England style beer.
You're killing me, Nick.
Go take a look and see if you can find it. You probably can.
Got it.
It's
Fucked
not
it
bad
up
if
is
you
what they
find other
did.
beers.
Hold on a second. Look, I don't want to speak for Carrie, but Carrie has a lot of them. I'm sure he can share with you.
I have one left that I'm
You
saving for
drank
that.
it all. Fuck.
He gave us a 6-pack like
drank-
2 weeks
He
ago,
gave
man.
a 6-pack. He didn't give one to fucking.
Oh, okay. I
Lee.
thought you would have had one or two left. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. You know what? You know what? I'm down to do what happened the last.
Guess
Week,
who's
whatever,
coming
like-
to visit? You know.
Yeah, like later, come on over. We'll do a share the beer again. I'm down with that. It's fine.
There you
So
go.
I have a shout out. I want to say happy birthday to Thomas. It's his birthday technically now. He's 5 hours ahead of us.
Happy
Thomas
birthday, Thomas.
Thomas Open.
Oop, not that. Oh,
Yeah, that was
Thomas
weird. Like, what the
Thomas
hell?
Open?
Yeah,
All right.
Thomas Open. Happy birthday to you. I
If
know
he's
you're
not
gonna
watching or is
but-
watching, well, happy birthday, sir.
I just got one of my Worthaner buddies, Rock Out. He's from England.
England.
Anyway, he said he drinks a beer called London Pride from Fuller's.
Oh, yeah, that's
I've had that. I think I don't think I can get that here anymore. I think I can just get the
That's
porter.
We ain't
I liked folders. Yeah, we did.
I think
Yeah,
Thomas
totally.
might enjoy Nick's prostate for his birthday.
I thought it was too young for that, but I guess
Haha.
he sounds young, so I guess he's old enough for.
Hey, at least I try.
Fuck's sakes,
Let's
Chris.
wrap it up.
Wow. All right.
Wrap it up, kids.
Wrap it up like a condom.
Actually, you know what? Funny thing to end. Years ago, I was working in a restaurant, and we had the big restaurant. You know, the big industrial sized saran wrap thing, and it was just on the side of it. It said "wrap it." And the one day I'm working on the line, all working hard and stuff. The boss walks to the kitchen, just Carrie. I'm like, what? He's like, what does that say? And I'm like, wrap it. Like, yeah, never forget. Just random advice from a guy like, yeah, just like, Ned,
It's stuck with you.
protect yourself, people. In these
All right.
days,
With that,
It's not done now, everybody.
with that little bit of knowledge,
Just
have a
remember,
good night.
while it may spoil the mood, age spoils it more.
So does
Okay.
herpes.
Let's end this.
All
I
right.
will talk to you
Anyone
later.
who
Remember to wrap your pack.
knows that commercial.
Wrap your pecker before you anyway, whatever. Thanks, guys.
Before you deck her.